In the movie Dead Poets Society, we're introduced to a philosophy called Carpe Diem, or seize the day in Latin. This is where an individual breaks away from societal conformity and truly pursues their passions to make their lives extraordinary. I believe that my interview guest today has truly made their lives extraordinary. From working as a chef in restaurants all over the world, to starting a creperie in France, to roasting coffee beans out of his garage and getting shut down by the Department of Agriculture, this person has truly seized every single day. In today's episode, I'm ecstatic to be joined by John Roos, the founder of RoosRoast, one of Ann Arbor's most beloved and recognizable coffee shops. In addition to being a coffee roaster, he's a chef, a drummer, a self-taught artist, and a storyteller who has always believed that a great cup of coffee and a great conversation belong together. Hi, John. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, Hannah, that was really nice to see you. And thank you for that wonderful introduction. Man, nice.
Thank you for being here. I'm so excited for our conversation. So we're just going to jump right in.
Okay.
For someone who has never heard of RoosRoast, how would you describe what you do?
I think we really try to when you come to RoosRoast for the very first time, we want you to be blown away by all your senses right away. Mm-hmm. So you're going to walk in. You're going to smell the coffee right away. You're going to be smelling fresh ground coffee. And then you're going to be greeted by a friendly barista or coffee technician. They're going to get you your drink, but you're going to really taste the coffee, what coffee is really supposed to be like, nice and strong, really smooth. And then, and that's the deal. And it's kind of an eclectic, it's not forced. And it's just a fun sort of individual experience every single time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the first things I ever noticed when walking into RoosRoast was just how unapologetically itself it was. I think other coffee shops don't really do that.
That's well said. It's kind of that's a really good way to put it. It is kind of I'll just tell you that's true. I worked in restaurants all over the world and cooked, and I've worked with so many different people at so many different levels. And one of the things, but I've never been a barista. But when I moved to Portland, Oregon in 1989, because I wanted to windsurf, I started a burrito truck there. And this is 1989. And we went to Portland and I saw coffee I've never seen it. It was crazy. I was it rains here all the time. This town is super foggy. People just live for coffee. And I was I didn't know this was possible. And then I just pretty much wanted to do that. But I guess what I was saying is that I sort of took a restaurant chef approach to starting a coffee shop. So it's I train people they're in the restaurant. We make things. I'm good at translating an idea into a taste. That's what I love doing. Yeah.
I like that. Wait, people don't really think of coffee that way.
And no, it's true. Yeah.
After your life-changing experience in Oregon, when you returned to Ann Arbor and eventually settled down with a safe job as a car salesman, what made you take the risk and begin selling coffee?
Yeah, that was funny because I moved back to Michigan. I'd worked in all these different places, and I was back in the hometown where I grew up. And I left here right after high school. And then, and I was I do not want to work in a restaurant. And I was just I was kind of doing construction, just doing all kinds of things, selling art. I'd been selling a lot of art, painting and stuff in Oregon. But then when I moved to Michigan, it was a totally different playing field. Also, 9/11 had happened and there was a financial crisis, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I think that I really like cars, and people had told me about being car salesmen. I've heard stories, and I really want to try this. I'm super curious. And when I applied to Subaru and got a job there, I mean, it was crazy. It was every day was I didn't know if I was going to last till the end of the day. But I was there for 4 years, and I crushed it. I just learned and watched and just I made myself just do it. And I had a great time because I realized it was a relationship between the people, the person that was buying the car. And it was you just needed to get in a relationship and I would bug people so much. I would call them. I had really good boss at that job too. And he thought I was crazy. My whole office was literally it looked like an art studio. Inside there was paintings and drawings, and and I had cameras set up so I could interview people like you're doing
Yeah.
at the, like I could tape people buying a car. And that was crazy because I'd be like, is it okay if I film this right now? And like, I would make videos. Have you ever seen, there's like YouTube videos where I'm like, in order to be a car salesman, you need to
I saw
mousse your
that.
hair.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
I'd be
I saw
like, you
that.
know, and the other car salesman hated me because I was so crazy, but I just was like, this is the most boring thing I've ever done in my life. I hate being in a cubicle, but was making money like crazy. So
Mhm.
the thing was, I never pushed anyone into like anything they didn't want. Like I never
Mhm.
was like, oh, you need this really fancy car. I mean, I just let people get whatever, you know, I'd
Mhm.
use new, didn't matter. People need cars. And when they're, and what I learned was when they need a car, it's a pain for them. They want to have a good experience. They
Mhm.
just want to like get in and get out. And it was fun. It was a great time. So I just did it because it seemed like the most, like sometimes I would just do things that seemed like the thing I shouldn't do, you know? But it
Yeah.
really allowed me, here's what's crazy. That's what helped me launch RoosRoast because I realized right away that no one could remember their car salesman. So I
Mhm.
had been roasting coffee in my garage. I just like would bring it to work because I was like, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll say, look, when you buy a car from me today, I'm going to give you a bag of this coffee. And I'd show them the coffee. I'd say like, here's the coffee. And they would laugh. Oh, that's so funny. And I'd be like, no, I'm serious. And then they were like, oh, tell me about the coffee. So then we started talking about coffee and not about cars. And then next thing you know, I'm giving them a bag of coffee and people were coming to the dealership to buy the coffee. So
Oh, wow.
it really became like this thing where the dealership liked it because they just like people to come to the car dealership. They
Mhm.
want the more people that come in the door, the better.
Mhm.
And so people were coming in there to buy the coffee, and it was like amazing. It became my like mini Roos roast in a car dealership, and then yeah, so
And now
that
they
was
remember you.
they would remember me. They'd be like, "We want the coffee guy," and oh, someone told me I got to talk to the coffee guy. It kind of grew into that, yeah. So
I love that.
that was a good like marketing thing.
Mhm.
And there's still customers who bought a car from me and they still buy Roos Roast today.
I
And they
love
still
that.
probably buy Subaru too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
2 brands, they're
good
together, they're
brands,
like
right?
forever.
Adventure. There's a
Yeah.
lifestyle brand, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was there a moment when you knew that Roos Roast had, like, transformed from a personal project to a full-fledged business?
Yeah. It keeps happening over and over, you know, like it's like I'm always kind of amazed at like, wow. And like in the very beginning, I talked to the same importers still, and they will be like, you know, do you remember when you only bought 3 bags of coffee? Like, so I bought like that means I bought 500 pounds the first year of coffee.
Wow.
Now I'm buying like, you know, like a container like every month. Like it's
Huh.
just totally grown into like crazy. Yeah.
I think that it's kinda crazy how you started so small and then it got so big, but I think that
It's
did come
still
from
small.
something,
It's still small, but yes,
but
you're
it's a
right.
lot bigger now,
It's
yeah.
so tiny. Like,
Mhm,
you know, it was just my idea was I was gonna quit Subaru after 4
mhm,
years and then start selling at the farmer's market
mhm.
and then have a website and just roast some coffee and sell it on the website. But now it's like, no,
There's physical stores, yeah.
there's like 30 people who work at Roos Roast and they all know what they're doing and they're jamming away. Yeah.
That's so cool.
It's kind of cool.
I
Thanks.
would I w
Thank you.
You're welcome. I would describe your work ethic in the early years as like sheer and nonstop because I saw that you took every opportunity to sell and deliver your coffee. What kept you going during those times?
It was fun. Like it was crazy. I just sort of like I came up with this saying. It's like coffee is a commitment because people. It looks from the outside. It looks very simple. It's like yeah, you get a brewer and you brew coffee and no big deal, right?
Mhm,
But it's very like, you know, you're constantly like kind of tasting it and making sure it's
mhm,
good. And it was just, I really like the energy and the fun of it. So it kind of became like, for me, it was like, what kept me going was the fact that it was just so fun. I like people. It's a short transactional thing. It's not a big
mhm.
laborious project. It's like, here's a cup of coffee, you know, it's like, it's instant gratification. So I love that part of it, you know? And you can find out whether people like it or not. Like, do you like it or not? You know, and so it's kind of cool too.
Like, you automatically know, you don't have to have them to try it for, like,
No.
5 months and then they
Yes.
decide.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
they need more. They're going to need more, which is good. I
Mhm,
mean, there's a funny story about how I was selling art at the at like this, they have this artisan market in Ann Arbor on Sundays, and I was selling
Hmm.
art there after I'd come back from Oregon, where I used to sell at like this really cool bougie neighborhood, the Pearl District. And, there was like a monthly art show, and it was so many people, so much fun. And then I came to Ann Arbor, and it was like more of like a craft show, and like people didn't even understand my art at all. So I would
Hmm.
just go there, and there was so many rules and regulations, like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. And it's just like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then I saw a guy selling honey. Like
Hmm.
this is when I had the aha moment to do coffee. I just kind of went into this, but so he was selling honey, and his sign was just literally a piece of cardboard that he picked up off the ground, and he wrote honey on. It looked like a car had run over it a few times, and it was just all dirty, but people were just buying that honey hand over fist. And I'm sitting there going like, oh my God, like I'm selling these paintings that I work really hard on, and he's just selling honey like crazy. And then I was like, and I would always try to bring a pot of coffee to the farmer's market
Hmm.
or to this artisan market and serve it. And they're like, you can't serve coffee. And I'm like, I'm giving it away. How about that? I'm giving it. It's free. Can I give free coffee away? I don't know. I got to check. So then I just was like, all right, thanks guys. And then I was watching this guy, and I was like, oh my God, I need to take my art and put it on a coffee bag and put it, and that becomes the art. I'll give the art away for free and sell the coffee. So that was kind of like how I realized, like, if you have something that people want and it's really good, like honey, then they're going to buy it. They don't care whether it's, what the marketing looks like.
Hmm.
So that was kind of like, if I have a good marketing and good product, that's a double whammy. So that's kind of how I had this idea to like really sell coffee, and bag
Hmm.
it and sell it and package it and make it look cool.
Wait, that's so funny. You were selling art and then giving the coffee away for free, and now you give you sell coffee and give the art away for free.
Yes,
That's hilarious.
exactly.
Like reversed. Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to kind of look at what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like completely turn the tables,
Yeah.
and you
Turn
know
it
what?
around, flip the
Yeah.
script. Yeah. That kind
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah.
When you were selling coffee and like just starting out, were there moments when you weren't sure that things were going to work out? And how did you navigate those times?
Oh yeah, that's a good question, because yes. So basically I would take all my money and buy the coffee, and I had all this coffee, and I would be like, I'd always in the back of my mind, I'm like, look, if I go out of business, I can go out of business after I sell all this coffee. Like if
Hmm.
something happens, and I just kept thinking that, but then it just, cause I was very, it was a like people told me, don't do that. That's a stupid idea, blah, blah,
Hmm.
blah, you're crazy. Just go back to selling cars. Just do, actually I was doing it while I sold cars very minimally, but then it just kept growing and growing and growing. And then it got to the point where I couldn't, like, selling the cars was how I made money, but like the coffee was kind of like a thing in the background, right? I wasn't really able to pay myself yet at that point. But then as it grew, I just kind of just was like, I forgot to worry about it anymore because I
Hmm.
was jamming so much, running around, doing the farmer's market, filling orders and stuff. I always have in the back of my mind that like something could happen. Like, I mean, it's risky to be in business, but you're always wondering. Yeah.
Hmm.
But
But I feel like even at Subaru, you've always incorporated a little bit of fun into your business. And I think there's been a very strong theme of work and play. Like you've worked very, very hard, but you've
oh,
also
yeah.
made sure to have fun while doing it.
Thank you for reminding me of that, Hannah, because that's true. It's like, that's why I was able to keep going too. You just nailed
Hmm.
it. It's like, because it's work. I always like to mix work and play.
Hmm. I
Yeah,
think that might be the key. I mean, that's how you keep going. You can't have too much of one and too little of the other.
exactly.
Yeah.
That you're very astute. It's very good.
Thanks.
Good job. Good job.
I feel like today, especially for people my age, many people are caught at a crossroads between multiple interests and passions. For
Uh,
you, you're not just an entrepreneur, you're also an artist and chef. How have you pursued all of your interests in an interdisciplinary fashion? And have you felt stuck as well?
Well, it's like, yeah, I think that they kind of connect in a certain
Hmm.
way. Being a chef is really like, it's kind of like you learn how to buy things, you learn how to keep track of things.
Hmm.
So it's really like being a chef is running a business. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like you're going through all the things you're buying, storing, processing, and selling. And then you're getting rid of the garbage too. So the waste. So you have like all the things. That's a really strong talent when you know that when you're able to do that really well. So that can relate to all other things, you know? Like the same thing with like when you're in a restaurant and you're like designing a menu, you try to design it so that you're using all the food, you're not wasting things, you know? It all kind of goes into a different, and then also you're sell the product to the waiters and waitresses so they can make sure they sell it, or the customers, whoever. So that's kind of like the sales part. So it's like I mean, it's like in the art world, it's the same thing. I mean, really, when people paint paintings and do cool art, that's great, but you need to spend a lot of time trying to get your art out in front of the right people, the right audience. And that's the big struggle with being an artist. Or, it's like you kind of have to, I think you have to try a lot of things. Like, don't be afraid to try something in, even if it's not the right thing, then somehow that could relate to the thing you really want to do. You're always trying to get closer to the thing you want to do. But if you just sit there and go like, I'm waiting for this perfect thing to happen, it's going to take forever.
Yeah, I'm sure that when you were like 17 or 18, you had no clue you had no idea that you were going to start a coffee shop when you were older.
No, that's true. I was just like, I literally thought I was going to like move to Colorado and be like a builder, contractor, architect, design guy like that. I was like, but then I fell into restaurants because I just wanted to ski in the day and work at night, So it
Yeah.
was like ski all day, work at night. But then I realized I love food and I was talented at that because my parents had like, we cooked all the meals at home. Yeah. And then I think traveling too, like I really love different cultures and I approach culture through food. Because I think you can really relate to all the different cultures of the world through their food, how they cook, and it tells you a lot about the people, And that's how I approached everything from learning how to be a chef. So that was kind of cool.
I see, like, even at RoosRoast, there's parts of Subaru, there's parts of like
Yeah.
your old background as an artist, there's parts of being a chef, there's parts of everything, and it's all culminating into one shop. And like it shows, like it's not because you took a linear path and you went straight to coffee shops. It's all of that stuff added together into one place.
Yeah, one of the things that's been really great for RoosRoast is that there's a lot of machines, and I really like when I was in high school and junior high, I took all the machine shop classes, like woodworking, and I took metal shop and I was like sort of on the track to be an engineer architect. So I kind of loved how, and as a child, I loved to take things apart, put them back together. So that's a really good thing to know in the coffee world, because grinders that you grind coffee with, they break. Espresso machines are just like pumps and pressure and and then the roaster itself is like a big, machine with all these moving parts. Right now I'm just like, today I just came from a meeting with like an electrical contractor telling me about like how we can get more power in the building. It's like, it's just crazy. So you need to, if you don't know all those things, yeah. If you go back to when I was 17, if I would have had like the ability to make videos and film things that I did, it could have been insane because I was like crazy. I was like Eva Knievel. I would jump over things on motorcycles and I would be dead probably.
You know what? That would have made you viral. You would have been like Instagram famous. Like
I would have been, my God, we would have made because I always I was always trying to write screenplays and make movies and do kinds of stuff, but like we never had the money to like buy a camera with film and take the time. But like the instant gratification of cameras and phones now is so crazy.
So easy. Like if you want to be an influencer, you just have to post a couple videos and be consistent with it.
Yeah. AI. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That would have been psycho. You guys are so lucky.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. But on the topic of writing, I heard from another interview that journaling plays a huge role in your life. Would you elaborate on that?
Oh yeah. So I felt like once I got out to Colorado and I was just kind of like, man, I didn't go to college. So I was kind of like, I had this like complex that I wasn't very smart because I hadn't gone to college. So I was like, well, I'm just going to like start reading a lot. So like a waitress I worked with said, you should start writing letters and read a lot more. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. So I used to write thousands of letters, like
Oh, wow.
So many people have tons of letters from me. But then I started journaling, and that was like a huge thing. In fact, I have all these journals in front of me right now because I was trying to
Wow.
look up, like, these are journals, and I have
Mm-hmm.
all,
1999.
yeah, this is like from 1999. So I can go back to all the years and, like, find journals where here, I'll try to find a pic. I would draw and write and just keep track of stuff in. Let me see. There's a couple here that are kind of cool. Let me see. What's this one? Like this one. Look at that. Roos. Oh, I think
Whoa.
someone else did that on there for me
That's so
and gave it
cool.
to me. Like, here, look at this barn.
Wow.
Like, that was a barn I drew. I mean,
That's so cool.
there's so many, everything I did. I would even write while I was driving down the road, here,
Oh,
and do watercolors and stuff. But yeah, it's there. So this could be something. Here's a friend of mine, Chris Donnelly. That's funny.
wow.
Yeah.
A
So
portrait.
yeah, it's pretty fun. Like, oh, check that out.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, so there's literally a bookshelf in my house that
Mm-hmm.
it has, I don't know. It's like from I think I started journaling in 1986 till now. And I do about 3 journals per year.
It's
That's
like
how long it takes.
wow. It's like your
I kind of,
40-year
but I
anniversary.
do it 'cause I get really bored, so I'll be
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my God, this is so boring. Then I'll start writing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I love to go into a restaurant with my journal and just be writing about, like, a
Yeah.
draw, write about the service or something, or food, or
I journal as
journaling is
well.
good.
Yeah.
Try it. Yeah. Do
Mm-hmm.
you do it? Do you
I do
journal
it
too?
every night. Yeah, I think for me,
Oh,
I find it
good.
difficult to process things like without like telling them to someone else or but sometimes it's like talking to someone for an hour is like a long time. So I just write
Right.
it out and then it helps me process everything that went on in the day and like I feel a lot
Yeah.
more emotionally regulated. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's been my therapy too. And, like, a lot
Mhm.
of times when I'll write stuff, it gets out of your mind, Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It
And then
gives
you
you,
just feel you feel better.
you
It's like
get
wow.
clarity around it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. But back
Nice.
to Roos Roast. How do you
Okay. Yeah.
think the city of Ann Arbor has shaped Roos Roast?
Oh, like, I don't think you could do RoosRoast anywhere. You
Mm.
could do it somewhere else. Yes. But Ann Arbor shaped who I was as a kid. Like, I grew up going to art fairs and being in
Mhm.
plays. Just, the elementary schools, the public schools in Ann Arbor are super good. Like, I really I had a great public education.
Yeah.
And it was like, so I think that, and I saw people, like, I got to see people, like, doing, like, at art fair or the football games, or
Mhm.
just got to see crowds of people, buying things or doing something, and you're just like, my God, look at that. You know, I guess that's a huge part of what kind of gave me the confidence to know that the possibilities were out there. And then
Mhm.
also, like, a really good art and industrial education, and I mean, I got a good background just being in
Mhm.
public schools here. So yeah, that has helped me. And also the businesses and the people. The Roos Roast really owes a lot to Ann Arbor. And the customers are amazing here. They supported Roos Roast.
I feel like as someone going through the public school system right now, it gives you a great education and although it's not New York, although it's not like City of Dreams, you really see that there's such a blend of culture and there's so many unique shops and it's not like a cookie cutter college town. Like there's a reason why
No.
people want to come to Michigan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
it's
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But looking back, what would you tell your younger self, maybe like a 17-year-old version of you, about what to do? What advice would you give him?
Oh, man, I think I would probably have said, like, worry less about, you're not that you didn't go to college or something, or
Mhm,
have less regrets about stuff. And also just, like, really, if you wanted to do something, like, if you try that thing, like, you really wanted to be on Saturday Night Live, then you should have just gone for it harder.
mhm,
I would say, like, man, just go for it. Like, try harder. Don't be so afraid. Like, cause I really forced myself to get out in the world, because
mhm,
as one of the things even though I'm from Ann Arbor, my parents didn't really, like, travel or take us anywhere. We went a
mhm.
couple times up north, but we didn't really know anything about the outside world. And I think that like I was kind of, I was like, oh my God, it's so crazy out there. But I would have just gone farther and wider maybe. Yeah. Or just tried to really go hard at stuff.
I think I agree. I think this is no diss on Ann Arbor because I love Ann Arbor, but I think sometimes we are stuck in a little bit of a bubble.
Yes.
Everyone is very educated in Ann Arbor. They are very, like, sometimes it seems like we're in a environment where most people have the same beliefs and ideas, and it's kind of hard to widen your perspective and like break through the boundaries and like change how you think by just staying in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with that advice. But also it's like such a privilege to exit Ann Arbor as well. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's kind of a thing. Like just, yeah. I got lucky. I went on this there was like a senior cruise that my grandmother paid for me to go on. And so it was like, we flew, it was all expense paid. And we went to like, where did we go? The Caribbean, right? So I flew on on an airplane for the very first time at like 17 years old.
Wow.
Flew to like Florida, got on a cruise ship and like was on a cruise ship for 5 days. And it was like, that was kind of an eye-opening experience where I was like, wow, this is awesome. Like this food and the hospitality and the people and the different like islands we went to. That was that really kind of was like, oh my God, I want to be in this business, of hospitality and food and everything. And I think that really like seeing stuff helps people see themselves in that, I mean, it might sound cheesy going on a cruise, but it was kind of cool at that age. And one thing I think that happens is that if you don't see it and experience it, you can never imagine yourself doing it,
I agree.
That's so getting out and traveling and just trusting people. Don't be afraid. No one's going to kill you. I mean, you're not going to get abducted. Go do it.
Take that risk.
You're in New York right now. Yeah. Right.
I think another thing about New York that I think, like Ann Arbor, is that you just have exposure to such a wide array of people and everyone's so diverse. So you can see what they've done and then you can see it as a possibility for yourself. If everyone was the same, then you can only see that their future would be your future.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
For my final question, what do you hope people remember about RoosRoast? Not just about the coffee, but about what you've built.
That's a good question. Let me see. I think I hope they just go away with, having had like an amazing, like, they're just like, wow, that was good coffee, and then, wow, I'm going to like share it with my friend. I'm going to tell someone about it, or I'm going to like, follow, subscribe. I always say that. Like, I used to never like, I'm always like, does it say like, follow, subscribe? I joke around with that, but like I want them to just be like, maybe I can do something great, or maybe this coffee is going to pull me out of a rut and just freaking make me go do what I want, get me motivated. Being around, it's funny when you go out in the world, and I go to like Maine, and I go to this island where there's a lot of lobstermen and people, the Manas, and those guys, the lobstermen, watching them work and watching what people will do. It's amazing. Like, it's like, I've been doing a lot of things on boats too, and sailboats, and those kind of people are intense and really impressive to me, because they'll just work through whatever weather. It's not an easy life. Things can go crazy. You got to really plan things out. And it's just impressive to see like what people are capable of. And then if you travel out in the world and see other cultures and how they live and what they like, I was always blown away by how other cultures lived and how the amount of spice they use in their food, which I love, it's like, get out there. And I mean, back to the question though, I want people to be like, go away from RoosRoast and say like, wow, that's fun. That was fun. That coffee tastes good. And I had a great experience,
That kind of like connects to exactly what you were saying at the beginning of this like conversation, where like you're not giving them a cup of coffee, you're basically giving them an experience.
Yes.
it's more than it looks like. You see brown liquid, but then you
It
drink the
better
brown
have
liquid.
crema. It better be a
Yeah.
long pull, a
Yeah.
lobster butter long pull with crema on
Yes.
top.
Yes.
Yes.
And I love
Right?
that. Thank you so much for joining me today. That
Hannah,
is
it's
the end
been a
of our
pleasure. You're
episode.
amazing. You're going to go on to do great
Thank you.
things.
Thank you.
You made my day. Thank you.
Thank you. That brings us to the end of this Under the Canopy episode. If you found value in this episode and want to hear more, kindly subscribe or follow and leave a review. Hope to see you soon on next week's episode.